Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever and whenever you are. My name is John, or Last Frontier Bricks, and this is my review of the LEGO Star Wars 2020 General Grievous Starfighter. It is set number 75286, comes with 487 pieces plus 3 figures, and originally retailed for $80. So nowadays, if you want to buy this set on Bricklink, you're looking at no less than $115, and that's if you don't mind paying for international shipping. Now, with that piece count, I can definitely see some people thinking that this set is overpriced. Honestly, I probably felt the same way too, but I will admit that there are also quite a few larger pieces in here. Plus, you only get 3 minifigures for a $80 set, so again, I can see some people thinking this might not be the best LEGO Star Wars set. And I can kind of see where some people who are coming at, although I do personally like this set. We have the instruction manual right here showing off the box art with the white the LEGO background plus the LEGO Star Wars logo in black with the Darth Vader minifigure up top. This did come out not too long before LEGO Star Wars Skywalker Saga did. And this ship, in fact, this ship even shows up in LEGO Star Wars Skywalker Saga. In fact, I think this very same model, this being the third full-scale minifigure size version of the ship. So opening up, you don't really have a whole lot. You basically just the basically breakdown of the instructions and how to use the brick separator plus the Lego Builder app. Then it jumps straight into the set. In the back, of course, you have your piece count and your break and the ad for LEGO Star Wars Skywalker Saga that I've always shown off, plus quite a few sets that came out at the same time, including the Razor Crest, Anakin's Jedi Interceptor, the 501st Battle Pack, and the Armored Assault Tank with Ahsoka and the 332nd Trooper. Both of those sets I've already done reviews on. I'll leave links to those reviews in the description of this video. Plus, you also have the Knights of Ren Transport, the AT-AT, the Death Star Final Duel, and there is a Sense ITS Transport. Plus, if you notice, you may have noticed that the other side of that page shows up all the figures of those sets. No, not in the same order, because this section was supposed to be the 501st Battle Pack, and that was the ITS Transport, so those two flipped. So pretty good selection worth of sets. As I said before, most of these sets I'll be doing reviews on before long. So again, keep an eye out for those. So that's the instruction manual. Let's just jump straight into my review of this set, starting with the figures. And starting off with what I think might be the most interesting figure, plus the only figure exclusive to this set, we have the 212 Airborne Trooper. I know a lot of people were hoping, before the images of this set got leaked, that this was going to be a Phase 2 Commander Cody, but personally, I think he's a pretty good looking figure all around anyway. The 212th Airborne helmet looks pretty good with good markings all around between the gray, a little bit of gray marking all around for like a little bit of scuff marks. Plus the visor looks pretty good. Plus all the markings on the front of the helmet, and you got the breathing apparatus around the edge. No printing on the back, however. But yeah, the helmet looks really good. He's got the regular 501st battle pack face, so he looks pretty good. So that looks pretty good. He's got the regular Star Wars blaster rifle. The torso looks pretty good as well, with again a bunch of 212 orange markings, just a little bit of metallic gray there in the middle. I think we were supposed to be the class for like that belt over there, plus a little extra armor on the top right, on the top left of the torso. All the printing there looks good. Good printing on the legs as well. And as you notice, he's got something that most people wish came with the Captain Rex from the UCS Vander plus Commander Cody. He's got himself a physical waist cape in gray. This is the old style rough fabric, and it looks pretty good. Back towards isn't nothing to write home about, but it looks pretty good as well. So all in all, for an exclusive figure in an $80 set, this guy ain't so bad. And for figure number 2, we have Obi-Wan Kenobi. Of course, the one thing everyone knows about this figure is that the torso print is a bit inaccurate. It does have some burn marks on it because this is a reuse of the figure that would the Obi-Wan figure that came in the $20 Duel on Mustafar set. Or did this figure come first? I honestly don't remember. But yeah, it is a little bit inaccurate. But other than that, it's a good looking Episode 3 Obi-Wan. The face print looks pretty good and good choice for hairpiece. His alternate face is a more nervous looking Obi-Wan. In this case, it might be because he's realized he's basically outmatched by Grievous. But other than that, he's got some good metallic printing on his belt. I believe that is his communicator. Plus, I think those might be some code cylinders. There's on the other side, and then of course the belt clasp looks pretty good. Good printing on the legs to get the folds in his robe and his boots. It's no arm printing, but that isn't really necessary. And again, a bit inaccurate printing with more burn marks on the robe, but the belt looks good, along with just a little bit more metallic gray printing. And of course, his accessories are his lightsaber with the blade looking pretty good. I don't see any air bubbles in the blade, so that looks good. And then of course he's got a Han Solo style blaster pistol, which of course he actually used to kill Grievous. So despite this being a bit of an inaccurate Obi-Wan, this is a good looking one nonetheless. And last but not least, we can't have General Grievous' Starfighter without the good General himself. And he looks pretty good as well. Now I know what you guys are thinking. He's supposed to be tan, not white. Personally, I think it all depends on what part of the timeline he's in, or maybe even just lighting, or whether he's been in a fight or not. Who knows? Maybe white is his natural color, and he just gets all tanned up due to a fight. I don't know. Either way, I think this version of General Grievous looks pretty darn good. Taking a look at his face, you see that they got him down pretty darn good. And between the metallic and gray along the edges of I think those are supposed to be his ears or a mask, and then his voice modulator or whatever, those are metallic gray. A good look on the eyes, plus the dark area around the eyes really gives the look of the brain look. Could take a look at the torso, that looks pretty good as well. Good mix of the white and gray. You even notice that they got some white markings on his arms as well, although they look a bit more like a lightish gray instead of white. Could have used an extra code application. His legs look pretty darn good as well. Feet look just about perfect. And of course, there's enough space in the feet to fit in on a couple of Lego studs. And then, of course, they do provide 2 extra arms so that he can have all 4 of his lightsabers, and they just attach right there on the upper section of the arms. You'll notice that the arms are very much like the new style battle droids, where the clips are posed in opposite directions. So once you get all 4 arms on there, it looks really good. And he looks even better once you've got all 4 of his lightsabers in his hands. Of course, he comes with his classic combination of 2 blue lightsabers, 2 green, in all of which, in this particular version, I, once again, don't see any air bubbles or imperfections in the blades, so that looks really good. And of course, all the handles are in the classic metallic gray, so that looks really good as well. He looks fantastic. And here is the General Grievous Starfighter itself. One thing I like to point out right off the top of the bat is that there are no stickers on this thing whatsoever. There's only a few places where you would need stickers, those being the cockpit glass and the controls into cockpit, and those are all printed. So that's a great bonus right there. As I said, this is the third version of the General Grievous Starfighter to come out, and I think it looks pretty good to the source material. Oh, of course, the main color in this thing is dark gray. Like I said, there are quite a few large pieces in here, like these sections right here, and the nose. These areas right here, those are all one piece. So those probably do bump up the price quite a bit. Of course, they aren't going to be the same price as a standard 2x4 red brick. Okay, so it does bump up the price quite a good bit, and there's some good detail in here as well. So because you got like the good striping in here, you got quite a bit of pearl gold over the engines as well. Between here on the side with the pearl gold pedals, the ribbing here, you got a bit of a Technic wheel. And here that's in pearl gold as well. I won't be surprised if it's not a new piece, but it's a piece in a brand new color, so that probably bumps up the price as well. So I can see why LEGO would think they could get away with $80. Although I do still think the key word there is think. Of course, since there are quite a few play features in here as well, you got a couple of stitch hooters up here on top. Strangely enough, the shots are in orange, not in like red or green or whatever you would have. Orange is a bit of an interesting color choice for blasters. I must admit that I think this is the only time I've ever known a LEGO Star Wars ship to have orange stud shooter shots. Of course, instead of them being stud shooters, I'm sure they included a few extra pieces. On the sides, and so the engines, they got a bit of a hidden play feature, and that's that these things can slide open, and that's so you can store General Grievous's lightsabers while he's flying the ship. Yep, so you can just squeeze two of them on one side, and of course you can do the same thing with two more on the other. I would suggest sticking them in blade first. I think that does tend to make it a bit easier. So yeah, they seal up just fine. Taking a look at the back, you can see some good thruster details both in the main engines and a couple in the cockpit. And you may notice the one function on the bottom. That's this trigger here with once again a orange colored spring-loaded shooter shot. Again, I think that's exclusive to this set. I think this is the only time I've ever seen it in orange. But it works pretty well. Instead of using your finger, you just push on these Technic pieces back here. That moves the 1x2 cheese wedge, which pushes the spring-loaded shooter shot. And of course, it works pretty well. Oh, and pretty hidden, if I do say so myself. The only way you'd really see it. Whoops. Oh well. Anyway, the only way you'd really be able to see it from the top is if you're looking at it head on, and of course, instead that's where the shot would be. And then, of course, the cockpit slides open. As I said, this is a printed cockpit. Makes me very happy. And it's just on these 1x2 plates with the railing on the edge. And so it just slides forward. And there's enough friction there that it won't really move on its own. But you can move it if you choose to. And, of course, you can just fold up General Grievous. And he'll just slide right into the cockpit. You'll notice that there are a couple of control panels on the sides. Like I said, those are printed. And you see a couple of control sticks in the front. And there aren't really any, but you may notice that there aren't any studs in here. Of course, that makes sense with General Grievous, as he doesn't really need the studs. I think I'd probably be easier if you took off the extra 2 arms on the side, but kind of like that arm wanted to do. But it can be done with the extra arms. Actually, probably be easier. One of the nice things about the interchangeable arms is that they can be put on. With the opposing arms, is that they can be put on in multiple positions. So yeah, while you see him with only using 2 arms at the controls, it can be done with 4. Just takes a little work. There we go. See, got in there with 4 arms, and he fits in there just fine. And then you can also fit Obi-Wan in there as well. He does use this ship to escape Utapau after Order 66, although him not having anywhere to put for his feet to clamp in shows as I tried to just put him in there normally, and they just kind of slid in there, and he's just kind of laying on his back. So you do kind of have to put him in there at a bit of an angle to make him look sitting there looking all proper like, but he does fit in there as well. So nice little touch there that you can fit both Grievous and Obi-Wan in there, just like in the movie. So that's everything in the set. Let's go on to my final thoughts. So one thing I forgot to mention in my review of the Grievous Starfighter is the folding landing gear, and the fact that this section here is on a pin, which you can have folded down for landing or folded up in flight into mode. So yeah, nice little touch there. Or is it up for landing and down for flight? I'm honestly not sure which one. I think either would work. Okay. So yeah. Again, another nice little touch, which have something the same function as the one in the movie. So for my review on this thing, I do personally like this set. This was the very first set I ever got with General Grievous, so that might put a little tinted glasses look on this thing. But I do like the ship. The ship, like, it functions as it's supposed to. In universe, it's got a couple solid play features. I do like the fact that it doesn't come with any stickers, so that's always a plus. The figure selection, it does kind of leave something to be desired. You are paying $80 for this, and it does feel kind of light that you're only getting 3 figures, with only one of them, that 212 Airborne Trooper being exclusive. It would have been nice to get 4 figures, like another 212 Trooper or our first Commander Cody would have been nice. I think that would have helped around things out a bit. But again, it's a good ship, good play features. There's good figures for what you get. Although, if you do have another General Grievous Starfighter, I won't be too surprised if you could skip it. In fact, with a few design changes and figure changes, as I understand it, this is pretty. It's almost like a copy paste of the second version of General Grievous' Starfighter that we got from the Clone Wars. Again, with just a few changes. Like, I'm pretty sure the General Grievous in that one was tan instead of white. You got Kit Fisto instead of Obi-Wan. You got General Grievous' Doctor instead of the 212 Trooper. And then the Doctor had a bit of a workstation. And then I don't think that version of the General Grievous Starfighter was as clean as this one. Like, for example, I'm pretty sure the section with the stripes was studded instead of plated. And then, of course, the spring-loaded shooters hadn't come out yet, or I don't think the stud shooters could come out either. So the stud shooters were just replaced by regular brick barrel blasters, and the spring-loaded shooter was replaced with had been a foot-fire missile. But other than that, I think the two sets were basically the same. So if you've got that, at least if you've got that one, I don't really think you need to get this one. It's not all that much different. The older one you might want to get updated because that one only included General Grievous himself, and that was a much older version of General Grievous. It might be the same version as that original Revenge of the Sith General Grievous. I'm honestly not sure, but it wasn't. But I know it wasn't as detailed as this one. So if you have that one and you don't have, if you had that first one and don't have either of the two new ones, you might want to get an upgrade. Of course, I don't know how much that second one is worth on Bricklink. I guess it all depends on if you really want a General Grievous Starfighter. If you don't have one and want one, I would suggest getting this. If you don't really need one, I think this is one you can skip. So before I go out on the outro, I do have a little bit of an announcement. Guys may have noticed my videos have been coming out a little more sporadic as of late, even more than I usually do. I try to do one a day, but sometimes that just doesn't pan out. Well, that's going to happen even more so because of a bit of a life change. I've over the last 2 weeks, I've gone from having a part-time job at Hobby Lobby to a full-time job at Walmart. And that full-time job has me at work from 7 in the morning to 4 in the afternoon. And since I have to walk to work, that means I have to leave the house by 5, which means I have to be up at 4:30. So yeah, that kind of limits my opportunity for, making videos. I'm not quitting. That's not what I'm saying. I'm just saying that videos are going to be fewer and farther between. I'm going to try to do as much as I can, but they are going to be a bit more sporadic. What I'm going to try to do is have set reviews come out on my days off, those being Monday and Tuesday, and then the rest of the week I'm going to probably do the gameplay videos. So that's how the new schedule is going to show up. Admittedly, right now it is only temporary. Even my boss says he wants to change up my schedule. He wants me on 9 to 6. He just needs someone on the payroll who can do that early morning shift, which would make me very happy because that means I don't have to get up at 4:30 in the morning. So, yeah, just a little bit of a life change update. Although having a full-time job definitely helps. While I was doing part-time at Hobby Lobby, I was making about $600 a paycheck, $1,200 a month. Fortunately, with me going full-time and basically just a little bit of a pay raise, I was making $13 an hour at Hobby Lobby. Now I'm making $15. And again, it's full-time. I'm going to be bumping myself up to about $2,400 a month. So that's nice. So, because I could really use the money. I got quite a bit of dental bills to pay off. Plus, it gives me a little bit more to play around with for fun. Like, for example, buying Lego sets. And it gives me an opportunity to do something really crazy at the end of the year. I'll let you know a bit more about that in September once that plan comes into fruition. Anyway, that'll be the end of this video. Thank you for joining me for it. If you guys enjoyed it, you know what to do. Hit like, subscribe, all that stuff. Helps me out in the YouTube algorithm. Check out some more of my content on the end screen in just a few seconds. And I'll see you all in the next video. Later, everybody!